The alarm screaming through Quarantine Bay 7 wasn't the problem. The problem was Krryx, the Vorathian cub with violet-black fur and 4 terrified amber eyes wedged halfway through the ventilation grill, all 4 paws flailing, while her crystalline claws scraped metal with sounds that made Maya's teeth hurt. "I'm stuck," Krryx wailed, her spotted haunches wiggling desperately. "I'm stuck and they're going to send me away, and I'm sorry. "Stop apologizing and stop moving," Maya yelled, climbing onto the medical scanner to reach the cub. The xenobiologist grabbed Krryx's back legs, soft paw pads the size of dinner plates, and pulled. "When I said, explore your environment, I didn't mean become the environment." The cub popped free with a metallic shriek that set off 3 more alarms. They crashed together onto the floor in a tangle of human limbs and alien fur. Krryx immediately pressed her massive head against Maya's chest, all 4 eyes leaking tears, her whole body trembling. "They heard it," the cub whimpered, her spotted tail curling around Maya's leg. "They're going to say I'm too dangerous, that I break too many things, that I'm too much trouble." "You are literally covered in my coffee right now," Maya said, wiping brown liquid off Krryx's snout. The cub had knocked over the mug 15 minutes ago. "But you're my trouble." The door to Quarantine Bay 7 exploded inward. Actually exploded, in fragments. Administrator Velkoth, the massive insectoid bureaucrat with bronze-green chitinous armor covering his 7-foot frame, ducked through the smoking doorway. His forearms clutched data tablets, while his compound eyes glittered in the emergency lighting. Behind him slithered Dr. Thesara, the reptilian xenopsychologist whose emerald-silver scales caught the harsh blue-white medical lights as her 6 short limbs propelled her serpentine body forward. "Incident report 847. Velkoth's mandibles clicked rapidly. "Property damage. Unauthorized ventilation access. Biological contamination. Is that coffee on a Vorathian juvenile?" "It's decaf," Maya said, still sitting on the floor with Krryx plastered against her. "Mostly." Dr. Thesara's forked tongue flicked out, tasting the air. "The cub's stress pheromones are catastrophic." "Maya, what happened?" "She got scared," Maya said quietly, stroking the spot between Krryx's ears. "Someone told her Vorathian cubs who cause incidents get sent to military conditioning facilities." Velkoth's compound eyes darkened. "That is procedurally accurate. Vorathian juveniles demonstrating destructive tendencies are remanded to their species' governmental—" "She's 8 years old," Maya snapped. "She's basically a second grader who can accidentally put her paw through a wall." "Exactly." Velkoth's mandibles spread. "The girl is a liability. This is her 14th incident this cycle. The council can kiss my entire human ass," Maya said. She felt Krryx's claws dig into her shirt. "You warehoused a terrified kid in quarantine for 6 months because nobody could figure out human-Vorathian bonding." Dr. Thesara's scales shifted color, rippling from emerald to deeper jade. "The bonding protocols exist for species that make sense to you," Maya interrupted. "Krryx needed someone who didn't care that she's too energetic or too emotional. She needed someone who thinks a cub knocking over furniture is normal, not a crisis." Krryx's whole body shook. Her voice came out tiny. "Am I too much trouble?" The room went silent except for the alarms. Maya felt something crack inside her chest. "Hey." She lifted the cub's enormous head with both hands, looking into all 4 amber eyes. "You know what you are? You're exactly enough perfect." "But I broke the door," Krryx whispered. "And the scanner. And your coffee. And last week, you're a kid," Maya said firmly. "Kids break stuff. Human kids. Vorathian kids. Probably insectoid bureaucrat kids too." "Substantial offense taken," Velkoth clicked, but his posture had shifted. Maya kept her focus on Krryx. "You know what you haven't broken? My trust, my patience, my extremely flexible definition of acceptable chaos." "The council won't see it that way," Dr. Thesara said softly. Her triple eyes blinked in sequence. "They'll review the reports, see the damage costs, calculate the risks. Let them calculate this." Maya stood up, Krryx scrambling beside her. "I'm filing formal adoption papers. Human Vorathian interspecies guardianship." The bureaucrat's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. You cannot be serious. Do I look like I'm joking? Maya crossed her arms. I've spent 6 months teaching this kid how to retract her claws before hugging, how to calibrate her strength, how to trust people again after your protocols traumatized her. You think I'm letting some council undo that? The human is threatening interspecies adoption, Velkoth said wearily. That's not a threat, that's paperwork, Maya corrected. There's a difference. The Vorathian cub has an incident file longer than treaty documentation, Velkoth gestured with 2 of his 4 arms. Yeah, and she's learning, Maya said. 3 months ago, she couldn't control her strength at all. Last month, she put claws through a wall when excited. This week, she only got stuck in a vent. That's progress. That's concerning, Dr. Thesara said, though her scales had rippled to softer coral tones. That's childhood. Maya threw her hands up. I don't know what sterile nightmare your species call child-rearing, but humans understand that kids are messy and loud, and break stuff, and need someone to tell them they're not too much. The reptilian scales rippled again. The bond you formed is remarkable, but the regulations were written by people who've never loved a kid enough to not care about broken doors, Maya finished. She looked down at Krryx. Right? The cub's 4 amber eyes were wide. You love me? Maya felt her throat tighten. You knocked over my coffee and I'm still here. You destroyed my tablet and I bought a backup. You put claws through my jacket and I just call it the ventilated one. She crouched to Krryx's level. Kid, I've got a storage locker full of broken stuff with your claw marks. I'm keeping it all. Why? Krryx's voice broke. Because someday, when you're grown up and in control of your strength, we're going to look at that pile and laugh about what a disaster baby you were. Maya grinned. And I'm going to tell everyone how you got stuck in vents. Krryx made a sound between a purr and a sob, pressing her massive head against Maya's shoulder. Her crystalline claws carefully touched Maya's back, fully retracted. See? Maya looked up at the officials. Progress. Velkoth's 4 arms moved in what might have been a shrug. The council will never approve. The council approved human oversight of Vorathian juvenile integration 6 cycles ago, Maya interrupted. Section 47, subsection 12. Humans are specifically authorized to establish guardianship for species with challenging adjustment periods. She gestured at the destruction. I'd say we qualify. Dr. Thesara's forked tongue flicked out. You memorized treaty law? I had 6 months of watching her sleep because she was too scared to let me leave, Maya said quietly. I did a lot of reading. Velkoth's compound eyes shifted to lighter bronze. Precedent exists. The question is whether the council believes human guardianship serves the cub's interests. Her best interest is not being shipped to some military facility where they'll train the too much out of her, Maya said. Krryx's tail tightened around her leg. Her best interest is learning that breaking stuff sometimes is okay, that being big and strong and clumsy is normal, that she doesn't have to fear herself. And you believe you can teach this? Dr. Thesara asked, vertical pupils dilating. I've been teaching this, Maya said. She's already better at claw control than most adult Vorathians. She can modulate her strength. She recognizes when she's overstimulated. She can ask for help instead of panicking. She looked at them. Give me 6 more months. And if she destroys another bay? Velkoth asked. Then I'll help her clean it and we'll talk about what went wrong, Maya said. That's what parents do. The word hung in the air. Krryx's 4 eyes went impossibly wide. Parent? The cub whispered. Maya's stomach flipped. She hadn't meant to say it out loud. But looking at Krryx, this massive, dangerous, gentle, terrified kid who thought she was too much trouble, Maya realized she'd meant it. Yeah, she said softly. If you want. Krryx's purr started deep in her chest, vibrating so hard the broken scanner fragments rattled. I want. Okay. Okay, Maya laughed, nearly knocked over. Retract the claws, remember? Sorry. Krryx's claws vanished instantly. I'm just excited and I know I'm supposed to control. You're fine, Maya said. You're allowed to be excited. Dr. Thesara's scales shifted to warm amber. Administrator, I formally recommend approval. My assessment indicates the bond is genuine and therapeutically beneficial. Velkoth's mandibles clicked in rapid patterns. This is highly irregular. The council will require extensive documentation, behavioral assessments, progress reports. I'll file everything in triplicate, Maya promised. Just don't take her away. The bureaucrat's compound eyes studied them, the human and the Vorathian cub currently trying to groom Maya's hair with her rough tongue while purring loud enough to set off sensors. One cycle, Velkoth said finally. Provisional guardianship. If incidents decrease to acceptable levels and the cub demonstrates continued improvement, we'll discuss permanent arrangements. His mandibles spread slightly. But Maya, if you're doing this to prove some human point, I'm doing this because she asked if she was too much trouble, Maya interrupted fiercely. And I'll be damned if I let her grow up thinking she's anything less than exactly enough perfect. Krryx made a sound like a sob and purr mixed together, burying her face in Maya's hair. Dr. Thessera's scales rippled through several colors before settling on gentle rose. I'll begin documentation. We'll arrange temporary quarters with reinforced infrastructure. Does it have a floor and ceiling? Maya asked. Technically, yes. Sold. Maya grinned. Come on, Krryx. Let's go see our new disaster zone. The cub's 4 amber eyes were still leaking tears, but her tail wagged so hard it knocked over a medical cart. Our disaster zone? Our disaster zone, Maya confirmed, where you can knock stuff over and I'll just sigh dramatically and add it to the collection. You're really keeping the broken stuff? Krryx asked as they headed toward the destroyed door. Every single piece, Maya promised. Someday you're going to be this amazing, confident adult, and I'm going to embarrass you by showing people the vent grate you got stuck in. That's mean, Krryx said, purring. That's parenting, Maya corrected. Behind them, Velkoth's mandibles clicked in what might have been approval. Flag this case for the council. They'll find it educational. Meaning? Dr. Thessera asked. Meaning sometimes the most effective protocol is throwing out the protocol entirely. The administrator said, watching the human and Vorathian disappear into the corridor, already arguing about whether Krryx was allowed to climb walls in their new quarters. Down the hall, they heard Maya yelling, No, you cannot practice pouncing on medical staff, Krryx. I said, no sorry. Dr. Quinn, she's still learning, followed by Krryx's delighted roar and something expensive hitting the floor. Velkoth's mandibles clicked once more, and yet somehow it works.